Tonight we want to show you something you may not have seen before involving the youngest victims of the heroin epidemic. Babies are suffering. The crisis is filling up hospital nurseries and clogging our courts.
Our own Anne-Marie Tiernan tonight has spent months looking at what drugs are doing to the children of addicts. In this 13 Investigates exclusive, we peel back the curtain to understand the struggle of babies who are born addicted. We want to warn you tonight, some of the images you're about to see are disturbing.
A crying baby is always unsettling. And it's even worse when you know the baby, like this little girl, just days old, is in pain. Her jittery shakes and her shrill cry are very distinctive, and they last for days. Doctors know exactly what's to blame.
Heroin, 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 heroin.
An onslaught of newborns, just like this one, are filling up Methodist NICU right now.
Our facility, I'm sure other facilities, can't meet the demand.
There are so many babies.
There does seem to be a lot more.
Needing so much specialized care. This retired nurse donates her time to come in and calm them down.
You know, I come in and I get my list of babies that need to be held, and they're a long list.
It's a list of newborns with neonatal abstinence syndrome, or NAS.
At any one point of time, 25% of our patient population are babies who are exposed.
25%. That's 1 in 4 newborns exposed to drugs. That's at Methodist, and hospitals statewide report a similar trend. Indiana newborns increasingly exposed to drugs by their mothers, like Amber.
I used high amounts of heroin every day.
Amber is 29.
As of today, I'm actually 130 days sober.
Here, her third child, baby Lainey, is 3 months old. She was born with NAS.
I came to the hospital and I said, you know, I have a problem, I need help. I have life inside of me that I'm causing harm to, and I can't stop myself.
Dr. Tara Benjamin started treating Amber and her baby right away.
It took about a month for us to be able to wean her from the methadone and get her on an appropriate dosage of Subutex, and she did well.
Subutex is a prescription drug. It works by feeding the addiction need without providing that drug high. Studies show that it is safer for baby and mother.
Get the baby's face there.
And that's why Connie from Mooresville sought help here. She had devastating results when she tried to go it alone.
This is actually my third pregnancy. The first 2 babies, I lost the first one at 20 weeks.
With prenatal care, Connie's baby Giovanni safely arrived just before Christmas, and nurses at the hospital were ready for the withdrawal that followed.
The excessive need to suck on his passy or pull out his hands, which is why he's all cut up here.
The victims we see are the babies. I mean, they are kind of the silent victims of this opioid epidemic, and I don't feel like enough attention's been paid to them.
Doctors gave Giovanni diminishing doses of morphine to ease his pain. It's the very same relief provided to baby Lainey.
There was muscle tension that she had, stiffness in her arms and her legs. And sometimes she'd have jitters or slight shaking.
Her progress now is being carefully tracked.
She's actually ahead of where she should be.
And yet, the long-term effects of Lainey's exposure are unknown.
What happens to these kids? They were born addicts, okay? We titrate them down, they go on, but they were an addict. So what happens when you're 16 and you break your foot playing football and they give you morphine? I don't know. I haven't been able to get any doctor to tell me.
It's up to Marion County Juvenile Court Judge Marilyn Moores to decide where these NAS babies go when they leave the hospital.
My role is first and foremost to protect a child.
She says the surge in these cases has yet to peak.
23, 24 cases in the morning and 23, 24 cases in the afternoon every day. We've had cases where the mothers are so drug addicted they have the baby and they leave the hospital because they got to get a fix, and they never return for the baby.
Moores estimates about 25% of the time the babies go home with relatives.
I don't send a child home with anybody that I haven't drug tested, and you'd be shocked at how many of those relatives then are positive.
And that's why about half of the babies go to foster care. Amber knows she is lucky to still have Lainey.
My caseworker was on his way to Indianapolis from Hancock County to remove her from me.
At the time, Amber was homeless and her family's support was well worn out. But one spot opened here at Volunteers of America. It's where Amber could live with other mothers and their children, continue substance abuse training. It's supervised support with DCS oversight for up to 2 months.
Say hello.
Amber knows what's at stake if she relapses.
At the end of the day, I want her to be happy and healthy. And if I'm not healthy enough to be in her life, if I'm going to be a negative influence on her and her life, she deserves better.
And Giovanni is now at home. Connie has family support.
I think that the baby is a huge motivation for me. It's like probably one of the biggest factors in my recovery now. So I want to make sure that he never has to see me, you know, the way that I was before.
As both moms leave Dr. Benjamin's care, they'll no longer qualify for Subutex. The DEA limits the number of prescriptions, and they're now reserved for the increasing number of addicted moms and babies to come.
There are some great success stories out there, just not as many as we'd like.
Well, Giovanni, they're so cute. Amber is now getting career training, and she believes that her daughter Lainey saved her from either jail or death due to drugs. Volunteers of America, we've learned, has 15 beds downtown, and plans right now are to triple in size soon. But even with that large expansion, there still will not be enough room to meet the increasing demand of mothers who need help.
Well, it's heartbreaking when you see those babies.
It is. It's been difficult to watch and not just want to fix it.
Yeah, and one of the things you can do is you can support the VOA.
That's right. Supporting the VOA would be a very good thing to do. If you wanted to take a deeper dive, you could always consider getting involved with the foster care system. They are always looking for qualified candidates who would help care for these children. And perhaps the hardest fix is if you are an addict, if you have a friend or a loved one that's an addict, help them find help. And always, 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 always use birth control if you are using drugs. It's just, it starts there too.
Well, you can't say that enough. You can say always 5 times, and maybe that's probably
always, 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 yes. Work on that, and we're going to stay on this story. We're going to go back and we're going to visit Connie next week. Actually, she's home with Giovanni. We're going to see how she's doing. We certainly wish her the best.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.